So today we are going to make a few things. I've made like 3 different recipes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a homemade pesto. You know, when you buy bunches of basil or parsley, you have like leftovers, but you can make a pesto, and actually refrigerate is nice, and it also can freeze. Right, today I'm going to make a kale pesto. I have some fresh basil here that I've washed already. I've took all the big stems off, and I'm just taking the leaves off of that, and then I'll add the fresh basil. Oh, I got another. I'll take that one off. 2 big cups of pesto. You can really not go wrong with basil. If you don't want to do basil, you can actually make all different sorts with different herbs. You can make it with cilantro. You can make it with parsley.
Basil's kind of like the most traditional one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? Also, they usually add Parmesan cheese. I'm not going to add Parm to mine. I'm going to keep it vegan. But if you do want to use like a cheesy taste, you can also use nutritional yeast. So we're going to put that in there. Now, I'm making a kale pesto. With the kale, it's very important that you take all your stems off. It's a little bit harder to break down. And also I massaged mine a little bit before I put it in the blender. So I'm going to do a bunch of fresh kale. I'll give it a quick chop. But as you can see, I massaged it, so it'll be a little bit easier to break down. A little problem that Christina had, she told me earlier that she added a little bit too much garlic in her pesto earlier. I did the same thing. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm only going to add a tiny bit to this because I have some made, and then I'll probably blend it at the end. Because pesto goes on raw, after you cook the pasta, you only need a tiny bit. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit of garlic. But you can make it a little bit better. If it is garlicky, you can add more lemon, a little bit more olive oil, some more basil leaves, or some pine nuts. Now, I have pine nuts. Of course, people that are allergic to nuts, you can use pumpkin seeds. I'm using the traditional way of pine nuts. So here's your pine nuts.
Yeah, pumpkin seeds are a great alternative. I've seen people do pesto with sunflower seeds too. I've never had it, but yeah, seeds you can always swap in.
A little bit of salt. And then olive oil. Always make sure you've got a good olive oil. I like this olive oil, so I'm going to just put some olive oil in there. And then, of course, a little bit of lemon. It just freshens it up. This is optional. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon in here because it helps it blend it as well.
Yeah, a little bit of liquid.
Yeah. So I'm going to take it over. We're going to do a little bit more olive oil in there just to make it more of a paste.
You can always add little bits of either oil or some sort of liquid.
And you know what? You just taste this off the top. You can taste it right out the thing. So I'm just going to try it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I would suggest using a pasta that has ridges in it. You follow directions after you boil your pasta. Just make sure that you keep a little bit of pasta water, add your pesto, and mix it up. The next thing, I'm going to go to the granola.
I love this idea of doing the granola in the air fryer.
I know. Honestly, it's so easy. So here's our bowl for the granola. Now, I buy the Trader Joe's oatmeal. It has a lot of stuff in it. It has the
it's got some seeds and stuff already.
Already in there. Yeah.
That's great.
I'll just get the recipe up. I think I used 2 cups of this. So 2 cups of oatmeal. Then I have different nuts in here. Again, don't have to use nuts. Use the seeds. It has lots of nuts in my recipe today. I have some pumpkin seeds I'm going to add. These nuts.
If you don't want to do nuts or seeds, you can always just do dried fruit too. That's the thing. It's super versatile. Yeah. Do whatever you want.
With the dried fruit, one thing I will suggest when you put it in the air fryer, you're going to put that right at the very end. I have raisins, but I'll put that in the last couple of minutes because otherwise they will burn. So I have a little bit of avocado oil, a little bit of vanilla here, and then the organic maple syrup I have. Here you go. I'm going to just put that in there. Right, so then we're going to mix it up. Now, this is really quick. It takes 7 to 10 minutes. It depends on your air fryer, like how big it is. And make sure it goes all the way through. Now, my air fryer is pretty big. I have a baking sheet in there, but they say poke holes into the sheet. So the air, because I'm using the rolled oats from Trader Joe's.
It's a little bit shorter.
It actually cooks a little bit quicker. I'm going to put a pinch of salt in here. So there's your mix, and as I said, I'll put them like 2 minutes before. There's my raisins there. I'm going to add them right at the end.
If you had other dried fruit, Sam, would you do the same with that? just add the dried fruits.
Right at the end, because when they burn, and it actually ruins the whole batch.
It's not like they toast pleasantly. How much oil did you use?
1 tablespoon of olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil.
Okay, so just a tablespoon is just to
so you're going to put that in.
Coat it a little. Yep.
Okay.
Looks good.
Cook, and then I'll do the other batch. Never overload it because it'll get soft.
You want it to be kind of spread out.
I made some earlier, so you can see like the little clusters there.
That looks so good.
So that's how that comes out. Lastly, I made a green bowl. Instead of an acai bowl, which I'm not crazy for, but I always love the way it looks, like with all the fresh fruit and all that, I decided to make a green bowl. This has lots of protein in here. I'm using Greek yogurt. I'm going to use half a banana, so let me get the yogurt in there. I have some Greek yogurt. Like 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt, between half a cup and 3/4 cup.
If you don't do dairy for any reason, they make vegan Greek yogurt.
I have a great avocado here. Well, then I'm using a banana. They said a frozen banana, but I didn't have a frozen. So we have a fresh. But I do have some frozen pineapple that makes it almost tropical.
Love that. I love pineapple.
So you can't go wrong with pineapple. I don't have to use any kind of syrup or anything because I'm using the pineapple. You can add a little bit of milk to this if you have an almond milk or something like that, just to get it going. I'm going to put a touch in just because I don't want it sticking to the bottom. Just a touch, just to get it going.
Sometimes you have to do that thing where you sort of scrape down the sides with the spinach. It'll get stuck. I've had that.
You have the green bowl. So how I did this green bowl, I'm going to show you everything. We just added some fruit and that to the top. So this is the final product. An arugula salad with fennel, which pairs very, very nice with a pesto pasta. You have your pesto pasta there.
So pretty.
Yeah, it's really nice. I put some extra chia seeds on the top, my green bowl with the fresh fruit, and this is a really good snack and it's full of protein. It's definitely something that you can make and put in your fridge and eat it. My water of the week is apple with fresh basil. For the fennel salad, this is with Parmesan cheese. Again, you don't have to use Parmesan cheese in it. You can use the nutritional yeast with fresh lemon, olive oil, and apples.
The sort of traditional ingredients for pesto are usually basil, pine nuts, olive oil, garlic, lemon juice, and then sometimes Parmesan. That's
the traditional, but I've been looking at recipes all week and there's so many different recipes now out that you can use, like different kind of pestos. Like I didn't know that there was a mint pesto. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, I've never heard that either. Yeah.
And I'll just say one thing about pesto. You can put pesto on your chicken. You can put pesto on your fish. You know, it really goes a long way. In your salad dressing, you can add olive oil and lemon to it. And it really does go a long way. So you can use it for everything. Your meats, whatever you want.
Yeah. You can use it for sandwiches. You can use it for all sorts of different things.
Pesto with fresh mozzarella. Oh,
yeah, that's really nice.
That's one of my faves.
Is it better to use almond milk or coconut water for smoothies?
I used coconut milk for my pink drink last week, so I kind of like mixed it up a little bit this week. But you can use whatever you have and whatever you prefer, you can use. Like if you want to use honey instead of maple syrup, you can use honey in granola. If you want to use like almond milk as opposed to regular milk, use it. If you're allergic to that, you want to use lactose, use that. Just swap it out. Whatever makes you happy, use it.
For me, for smoothies, some days it's like I feel like having a smoothie that's kind of like creamy, so I'll use like unsweetened soy milk. Other days it's like I just want one that's not, so I'll use something like coconut water.
Really get that. And like even with this green bowl, it's like almost like a smoothie, but like the avocado makes it so like silky and thick. It's like a dessert. It's like a sweet dessert without all the ice cream and the heavy creams and all that. I know a lot of people have been using like cottage cheese. They've been blending it and like doing different things. It's a new thing now, you know. They're bringing it back.